Hey, this is Alvin Jones, the creator of Rap City, letting you know you are checking out Knowledge the God. That's that man that you need to know about. And the show is Hip Hop is Real because hip hop is real. Take it from me, Alvin Jones, the Rap City creator. You need to be with Knowledge the God because hip hop is real, for real. Then New Edition came out when they had the Heartbreak album when Johnny Gill joined. And so when that happened, that special that we did became, it broke the ratings records for BET. So you had Rap Week, Record, Rap Week, Record. The new record is broken by New Edition. And then we did one between the Easter holidays. Mm-hmm. That became the highest rated
What
show.
year is this at this time?
This is in the 88.
88. Oh, right before the launch.
Right, so what happened is, that week before Labor Day, 1988, Rap Week, boom. Ratings juggernaut. Christmas, 88, boom. 89, that Easter, boom. I go on vacation, I'm exhausted, I'm tired. I come back, they're like, we're gonna do a rap show. And so it launched August 11, 1989. And I didn't realize, so before I got here in Atlanta now, I had a chance to see Kool Herc and his sister at the Kennedy Center. And actually, August 11th is that day.
Wow.
Of 1973 when hip hop got started. So I didn't even know that. It just all kind of came together.
That's crazy.
No, that's God aligning. So what I realized, God has given me a platform and he's putting things together. Because he realizes, remember at 4, I realized the power of music, the fact that entertainers are so important. If you think about during that time, you had Harry Belafonte, you had, not Marian Anderson, but very special gospel singer, Sammy Davis Jr. Entertainers have always been the ones who have given money and leadership and spotlight to causes. And so what I see as we start dealing with things with mental health, you got Taraji P. Henson who's talking about mental health. As we start to speak out, as entertainers, as athletes, we know what the problems are because we grew up in them. And so the next thing is, how do we help the community by letting them know it's okay? Like the song says, you're not alone. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I remember that song with Michael Jackson, and I thought about it. I said, this song reminds me of Jesus. You are not alone. I'm here with you, though you're far away, So there's a message in the music, and I think that's where we're getting ready to go to, is where now that hip hop is accepted, and you gotta get people
Not accepted,
attention.
the biggest form of music on the planet.
Okay, I'm real modest, right?
The biggest, there's nothing bigger than hip hop in this world right now.
Let me explain something to you. When you say hip hop is real,
yes,
I listen to all types of radio. Out of Russia, it's called Radio Ruski Radio. Okay, they got Russian hip hop.
They got They got like Indian hip hop. They got Chinese and Japanese. Yeah. They got every culture is doing hip hop.
Let me tell you. So I started off as a DJ. So like the summer of '78, I got a picture. We used to get equipment, and you had the big column speakers. One in the basement, one on the back porch, right? So I still, from time to time, DJ. I used to DJ proms and things like this. I went to an Indian wedding one time as a videographer. They were playing. Now this is long before Big Pimpin' with the punch on doom doom. Oh man! And the kids would come out to do a little dance, and you hear zoom laka zoom laka. They would do. And then the next thing you know, they switched into the water dance.
Fire.
And then you hear, and I'm like, this is, and then they went into some, I'm trying to think of it. But it was like hip hop, go-go, Punjabi, all merged. It all merged. It was like, boom, and it was just hip hop like a mug.
You see the London artists with the American artists on tracks with each other, and then it's super dope. The drill sound from London coming to the United States to Chicago, like it's just they're all influencing each other now.
Look. People ask me look, man, I don't even know anymore. It's just gone to its own. All I know is I planted a seed and I walked away. And that was like 1989. Now, it was a little area in the backyard and it was just a little bit of grass. You plant the seed, now you go, where all these trees come from?
Yeah.
And they're bearing fruit. And so that's the thing, because for it really to last 19 years, for Rap City to be the longest running hip hop show, other people had to be there. So I was kind of the start of it, but it's like any marathon, well, not marathon, but any relay race, you got to pass it on. And what people do with it, and as it evolves and it turns and it twists and it changes. So I got to give hats off to everybody who was involved in this project.
Okay.
Because although, and even with it getting started, I would not have known about hip hop if it wasn't for Hans Beck Dotson, better known as AKA Prime, the hip hop advisor. He was an intern in the sports department. And he's talking about hip hop this, and everybody's like, man, will you be quiet? I don't want to hear about this. And everybody thought, oh, it's just a fad. I'm this. I listen to everybody. People are like, why do you listen to these people? I said, everybody has a story. And so I'm like, okay, tell me about this hip hop stuff. And who's this person? And what's that? And so forth. And so, to me, people have voices. Listen to what they have to say. I think my superpower is the ability to have curiosity and try to see what's coming on the horizon. So,
From '89 when you started Rap City, and now BET this week is going to give you the award for just what you've done and things like that. What's your thoughts of the growth of Rap City from '89 to the end in 2008?
like I said, it's just amazing. It couldn't have happened without other people. Like I said, I started it.
Who did you pass the baton to create the next, you know what I'm saying? To the point for my generation, it's the Big Tigger generation. Mm-hmm. The basement. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? The freestyles in the booth and all of that.
Wasn't that amazing?
That's what, that changed the game for me.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I remember seeing Prime was interviewing Big Daddy Kane. Mm-hmm. And Big Daddy Kane goes, yo man, I want you to, let my boy do a few bars. And Prime was telling me, they were like, well, we don't know this kid, and da-da-da-da-da. And so Prime said to the producer at the time, look, this is Kane's guy, he wants me to. They said, okay, we'll do something. And that's when Jay-Z was launched to the world, because everybody else knew.
Are you serious?
Yeah, Jay-Z was a DJ at the time. So here was this guy, so you had Prime here, Big Daddy Kane here, and here's Jay-Z taking the show out, doing a rap.
And Kane asked, can my man spit a couple lines?
Big Daddy Kane is the person.
That's deep, that's fire.
And so here's the other thing that you never realize is that a lot of time, one person's fortune is because of someone else putting them down. So for example, everything that you see about Bruno Mars, that was B.O.B. saying, I want you on my track.
Wow, I didn't know that either.
Yeah, because he's like, yo man, you can write, you can do this stuff. So remember Nothing on You? Mm-hmm. He says, I want you to, beautiful girls, all over. That was the introduction to Bruno Mars. Wow. Because B.O.B. says, look man, you need to be on this. So for me now, I'm still trying to do that same thing. What's next? What do we need? What do we as people of color need? We need to deal with the misogyny, we need to deal with the racism, the white supremacy that's still going on right now. People trying to take our votes away. And so now that hip hop has this power, that becomes the message in the music. If hip hop can alert people to what we need as a people, not only with finances, but how to love each other better, how to deal with mental health, how to ensure that we have a legacy, then I think hip hop will do what it's that time for hip hop to do.
How did you guys come up with the 24-hour model for BET?
The 24-hour model?
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Originally, BET was only 8 hours because they were sharing time with another with another channel on the transponder. So October 1st of 1984 was when BET was moving to a new satellite so that it could go 24 hours. So originally, it was, everything starts small. It's like, if you want a big store, you get a little pop-up, or you may get a little cart in the mall, and things just grow and grow. So that was Bob's vision. That was Bob taking it slow and not overdriving the headlights.
What made you guys pick Big Tigger?
I wasn't there when Big Tigger was picked for the show.
Okay.
But I knew Big Tigger. He was an intern at the radio station there, and he just had that energy. People liked him. He was like, hey, what's happening? He just had that engaging personality. And I think that's what made it work. And then, he could rap also. But,
Freestyle king.
Yeah, but it was just the idea of, here's the thing that to me makes Big Tigger so great. He's a guy who's tough. He's a man's man. Dudes want to be like Big Tigger. Girls want to get with Big Tigger. But he, in a world where everybody was trying to be hard, he was comfortable enough with himself to let you see him. He was comfortable enough to smile, but at the same token, he wasn't shying off. But it's like, he gave people permission to be happy. He gave people permission to engage. And that's what I really appreciate Big Tigger, because he was that perfect person. So we had Chris Thomas, the mayor, we had Prime, you had Joe Claire, you had Prince DeJour, and it's almost like any good legacy, there's people who can step in and take things to that next level, Having Big Les, having a woman as a host of Rap City, to me was great also.
What's your favorite freestyle from Rap City, if you have one?
From Rap City? There's so many, man. I can't. Don't even put me in that.
Give me a few, because you already named Jay-Z. You know what I'm saying? Jay-Z's.
I'll leave that one. Okay. We'll leave it at that. We'll just say Jay-Z.
Jay-Z?
Yeah, Jigga Man. It was yeah. It was the Jigga Man's freestyle that was the best one.
Let's go.
But I mean, but you
it was a lot of legendary. Listen,
you had Kane,
of
Eminem. No, don't get me in trouble, because I don't want to walk in the room with all of them. Like, what about mine?
Yeah, because Cameron, Lil Wayne, you know what I'm saying? Ludacris, Cassidy. We can go.
How much tape we got? We'd be here forever. We'd be here for 19 years.
BT Awards. How excited are you? With them, showing the appreciation of what you was able to create.
The best thing about being appreciated is the fact I get to see people that I helped. I know what I did. It was, when you did it, when I did it, you don't do it to get awards. You get it because you're going like, how can we help people? I've always been an innovator. When something is popular, I'm on to the next thing. So it's like, from there, like, everybody watches video online now. Myself and a buddy of mine, he just checked on me to see how I was doing before I came down to meet with you. We worked with Microsoft back in 2006.
Okay.
And we were the first ones to do video online. So everybody's now doing 4K. Wow. Video online back in 2006 was like 320 by 240. It's very small. And Microsoft called it new media, meaning they didn't have any idea what this was going to do. So the first thing we did NAACP Image Awards. Then we did Clive Davis's Grammy party. And then we did a global green carpet. And it was funny because with all that going on, it was so new. We had a hookup to do the Cannes Film Festival. And Microsoft was, we're black folks. Well, we can't get there. What makes you think you can get there? We're like, no, we have a little bit of connections. We have people who have faith in us. So Microsoft passed, because they're like, well, the only thing we can do is we can get our person. They can only do the pit. So my buddy, TJ, pivoted, and we went, remember back in the day you had the TV Guide channel? So we struck a deal with the TV Guide channel. So we went out and we ended up doing X-Men and Beyond. So we did stuff from the Cannes Film Festival there. But I've always been, working with XM radio before it was Sirius XM, just XM. And it's always been interesting. Bob Johnson offered me a job. XM offered me a job. What we did with Microsoft was brought to us. And even now, working with Arlington Independent Media and Whitney Conoto and WERA 96.7, she called me and offered me a job. And so it's just amazing that people will call you when you're ready. Do your thing. When you're ready, people are. So, getting back to what you're saying.
Stay ready so you don't got to get ready.
There you go. No, it's funny because the person that I want with me is my nephew, and he's here, but he's training to be a fireman. So I'm like, yeah, you want to do the red carpet tomorrow? I don't know if I got to do this. I was like, would you tell you, like, no, these firemen, they don't care about that. They're saving lives. So, like you said, to be ready. And my nephew is a better creative than I am.
Wow.
I've passed, I had to tell my sister, I'm giving him the belt, because remember this name, David Gales is the creator. He's that next generation, the next couple of generations. But getting back to what you're saying, the thing will be is I'll get a chance to meet people that I've actually touched. So it won't even be about my glory, it's the fact that who did I touch? Who did I help? If someone comes like, yo man, I'm inspired, just like being with you. The fact that you are taking the time to sit down with me, you left wherever you were comfortable, you're coming over here and you're engaging with me and you're letting me know that what I did had some value. Because you can just do whatever you want, but if it has no value. So I would say just the fact that people got something out of what I did.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Two more questions.
Yeah.
What's the next vision? What's the next thing? Because you're talking about, once we create it, we plant the seeds, they bear fruits, on to the next. What is this next thing? We're here in 2023, and we're going to 2024. What is the next thing? What's the future?
You talking about with hip hop?
With you, with hip hop, or what is the next vision?
Well, my next vision is we are now. Like I said, the March on Washington in 1963 and the March on Washington in 1923, 60 years, still dealing with the same thing.
Okay.
We need justice. We need peace. We need to be able to feel comfortable. We need to be able to work together. This is a capitalistic system. We need to be paid equally. We need to have opportunities. And what I realize is, remember Stevie Wonder did Happy Birthday? Remember Donnie Hathaway, Take It Someday, One Day We'll Be All Free? When the Impressions Keep On Pushing, Glenn Jones, I Am Somebody. What we need is hip hop to, now that we've got this, like the song says, now that we found love, what are we gonna do with it? So we got love of hip hop. How can hip hop help people get to that place where we get that justice, where we're able to get training, we're able to get good jobs in IT and environmental stuff? How do we deal with mental health problems? How do we deal with our health problems? How do we come together and coalesce so that we have more Black Wall Streets? What I'm saying? So that we have more doctors, we have more people that are making changes in life. I've been very fortunate. I just last year was working with the family of Henrietta Lacks. So they finally got their justice.
Beautiful.
And so there's so many things. I had a chance to work with Dick Gregory, who took me with me, Dr. Dorothy
Rest in
Height.
peace to the GOAT.
Yeah. No, it's funny. I'll tell you the story. I was working on a project with Dick Gregory because Dick Gregory really loved John Brown. And so I got called by a good friend of mine, Sidney Miller, who had Black Radio Exclusive magazine, to shoot this video, this kind of documentary. And so what Dick Gregory felt was, this is a white man who sacrificed himself and his family for Black people. So he would always go up and pay homage. We even went to the place where the tree was, where they hung him. And when people like a Dick Gregory or Reverend Jackson or Dr. Dorothy Height put something into you, you have a calling and you have a mandate. So the mandate is, how do we start helping people? So like I said, whenever the time is right, I get called. So last year, Whitney Canoto with Arlington Independent Media called me. She wants to make changes, and she wants to use media. So we've got a radio station, we've got a TV channel, online, and we're putting together programs. And so I ask folks, get involved. You know, you can get involved with me. So for social media, the Instagram and the Twitter is as in THE, Alvin Jones. People always ask you, are you the Alvin Jones? And so now my new hashtag is Rap City Creator. But this is something we can all do together. So I'm asking folks, you know, if you love hip hop like I love hip hop, let's make this thing work. We all have issues, we all have problems. It's good to talk about them and get them out. Now let's work on them and get them resolved.
And lastly, I do a lot of work in the battle rap community.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I'm at all the battle rap events, the major events. Battle rap is like a subgenre to the hip hop culture.
Oh yeah.
And they focus strictly on stage live performance, probably one of the best live performance shows in the world.
We used to call it Jonin in the dozens.
So now we're joning in the dozens at the highest level now, right?
To the next level, right?
I wanted to know, what's your thoughts on battle rap growing and becoming its own thing in the hip hop culture? You know, where guys are able to take care of their families and feed their families off of battle rapping.
Man, here's the thing. If it's something that people like, they're willing to pay for it. There are people who used to sit in their basement and just play Madden football and do gaming, and the parents, you need to get a job. And now those folks make money gaming. Here's the thing, anything that starts from the heart, once it becomes to that next level and it has value, because here's the thing, we put money on what we value.
True.
So once it starts having value, then you can, and really, there's something that people like. Some people just like baking cookies. You know what I'm saying? Do it until people want to buy your cookies. In us is a lot of innovations, a lot of creativity. We are entrepreneurs by nature. We do things like, if we can't afford, you know, the big nice go-kart, we'll make our own. If you think about it, one of the reasons rap music was using sampling music is because in New York, they cut back the funding for instruments. So it used to be you could, you know, I remember I had a euphonium horn and the saxophone. You could go to school, get an instrument, and take it home and practice. But once that did, what the hip hop community did in DJ Kool Herc and them, they just said, okay, well, we can't play an instrument, but we can play the turntables so that the music's still there. And then you pick out certain things, the hook, you know, of this song and that song. And what's really interesting for me is when I hear a new hip hop song, if I can identify the sample. Like Biggie Small had one, I'm like, oh, that's Isaac Hayes, walk on by. Or stay with me, DeBarge. Or you know, that was Herb Alpert Rise.
Or Otis Redding with Jay-Z and Kanye and things like that.
Oh yeah, as a matter of fact, it was a buddy of mine, Ed Bird's song. He worked with Stevie. He wrote stuff for Roy Ayers, that song Runaway. Doobie-doo, hey, I'm packing my bag. But he did this song called Coke Bottle Baby. Dun, 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 dun. Got sampled by Daft Punk. Then it got sampled by Kanye. That don't kill me.
Kanye, the sample king.
Right, and it was funny because even De La Soul sampled one of his songs, because he had a song called Rapper Dapper Snapper, and that was in De La Soul's, which one? Not Three Free Rising, was done, Me, Myself, and I. So it's interesting because these folks who have written things now get a chance to get paid off of other stuff. I'll tell you a story, speaking of samples. I remember talking to Patrice Rushen, right? And Patrice says she's in a studio and there's a knock on the door and it's a special delivery, US mail. And so she opens up the package and she says, there's a cassette and a check for $2,500. Like, we sampled your song, da 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 da. She plays it and it's like, wait a minute, that's Forget Me Nots. And that was the music used for Men in Black. And she goes, wait a minute, this is through the whole song. And so she said to them, nah, $2,500, no, I want 50% because you're using my music. And they got back with her and said, well, we can't really do that because it's taking money out of Will's pocket. She says, well, then don't use it. And they were like, oh, okay. But it's that whole thing of negotiation that's that create. So it's really interesting because remember this song, I'm gonna rock some cars.
I love it. It got $20 and that's the new version I'm singing right now.
No, this
looking
suit,
for a come up.
No, look at this suit. Taylor, I found this, literally, I found this suit, I was getting gas and there was a little thrift store and the guy had it out.
Yeah.
I bought like a couple of suits and I just went see this lady, Miss Lee, and got it custom, and everybody goes, ooh, nice suit. I said, I paid $50 for the suit. Now I paid $100 to have it done. But that sampling is, how do you take something that influences you and go, ooh. And so that's the other thing is, hip hop is also a collage. It's whatever you imagine, that's what hip hop is. It can be the craziest thought that you ever had. Think about it, Kanye, I'm a college dropout. Most people, when you drop out of college, your parents are like, boy, I tried to get you in school, and now you're working at McDonald's.
Me too, Alvin. Me too.
Well, here's the thing. No, you want to hear something that's really funny? With, doing BET and the success and being the unseen VJ, Howard University came to me one year and said, would you speak at our alumni dinner? I'm like, sure. I hadn't graduated, but, everybody claims it when you're famous. So the day of, they go, we just found out you didn't graduate. I'm like, no, I didn't. And they went, well, why did you accept the speaking engagement? I said, because you asked me. So they found someone else who had graduated, and then I was a special guest. So, I think, did Bill Gates ever get his degree?
Hey, I'm not sure. It's a lot of those famous guys that didn't even, or rich people that didn't even graduate high school.
Well, to be honest with you, I got kicked out of school because I'm doing a #1 show, Quiet Storm, and I'm seeing what's real. And so I was working 3 jobs. So I had 3 part-time jobs plus I'm going to school. And so we're in class and I'm saying, no. You think just because you got this degree and this and that, that's not how it works. This is the real world. And so I've always been the person that people go, who do you think he is? And it was just funny. I just saw it for real for what it was. And people would always argue with me and think I didn't know what I was talking about. And one day I missed a class and someone said, you should have been in the other day because we had this conversation. Everybody would want to know what you would think. And I'm like, oh, they're learning on me but not giving me credit. I'm like, I get it. So, everyone has to figure out what works for them. Howard University, love it. HU, so much history. I always wanted to go to Howard University. So to be able to get in there, and one of my friends still tells me I need to go back in, because I've got like 100 and something credits, only like 20 credits to graduate. So I may do that.
Okay.
I may go back to Howard and get my degree.
I'm the same way, man. I got
you understand?
I got like 10 credits or something. I got you know what I'm saying? But I fell in love with hip hop, and I fell in love with wanting to be an entrepreneur, and I followed my dreams, and I'm living it. And I just want to say I appreciate your time.
No, give me your handshake. Everybody
Brother.
know. No, this man understands it, and it's not easy.
No.
It's necessary, but it ain't easy.
Any last words you want to leave for, anybody coming up in the game, the youth out there?
I just want to say, go for it. I also want to do, a shout out to the memory of my nephew, Gabriel Gales. Gabriel, unfortunately, passed a few years ago, but he's here in my heart. All of my nephews are like extremely creative. He was a rapper, and I know he's going to be on the red carpet with me tomorrow. He's always been with me in my thoughts and my dreams. So Gabriel, shout out to you. Uncle Alvin is going to be on the red carpet.
Let's get it, man. Alvin, appreciate you. Much love.
Thank you.
Hip hop is real.